please do so now. We'll get started in a moment or two.
Yeah, this is Kilo Yankee 4, Tango Romeo Kilo, diesel portable, James here. I just want to get an early check-in as I'm going to be dealing with traffic and everything out here in California, working my way towards my stop. So I'll just say 73 and good evening to you.
Alright, I will put you on the list and safe travels out there. If anyone needs to use 14 Charlie, please go ahead and do so before I get started with the Ham Nation D-Star After Show now.
W6GPS.
KHATK, KB9VZU.
There you are. I was just about a moment away from getting the net started. Didn't hear from either you or Alan.
And I apologize again. They kind of changed my hours at work, and if I don't get my folks ready to go home right at 9, then that runs me behind. And I had a couple stick around chit-chat, so I apologize for that. But ready to go now. Do you have anything you need to go over before we get started?
No, just the usual announcements of the after show nets and that kind of stuff. Haven't seen the HF frequencies, but I already put out the call if anybody needs to use 14 Charlie, so whenever you want to get it started, we'll be standing by here. KHATK.
Alright, we'll take a standby here for about 1 minute, and then we'll get started with this edition of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show now. I'm going to give the reflector time to if someone needs to make a comment or something, make a connection here. We'll get started. Feel free to do so. VCU and KHATK, stand by. We'll get started about that.
And Dave also put on your list, we had the early check-in, Kilo Yankee 4, Tango Romeo Kilo, KY4 TRK, checked in a couple minutes early, so make sure you put him on your list. Standing by, KHATK.
Alright, I've added that one, and we'll go to him, see if he's got anything to say when we get started.
W6GPS.
W6 GPS will acknowledge the quick key there, and we'll come to you as soon as we get started here with the net. We start here in just about 30 seconds. Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net, held here on Reflector 14 Charlie. This net is held each Wednesday evening on or about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is an open net but a controlled net. At any time, a station may break into this net to pass emergency traffic. So at this time, we'll ask, is there anyone that has emergency traffic? Hearing none, we'll continue with the net. The purpose of this net is to promote ham radio, provide D-Star related information and news, give D-Star capable amateurs the opportunity to improve their communications, just have fun and talk about the Ham Nation show that recorded this evening. Your net control operator this evening will be KHATK, that's Jeff up in Westlake, Ohio. myself, KB9BZU. My handle's Dave, located in Newcastle, Indiana. That's about 40 miles east of Indianapolis. And we've got a couple of check-ins that checked in early, and I'll go to those stations now. Let's first acknowledge KY4TRK. He was the first station, and W6 GPS will put you in order, then we'll take more check-ins. But KY4TRK, do you have anything to add for the net or any comments you have? Go ahead.
I'm currently traveling down the highway right now, so I'm having a hard time hearing you on this handheld, but I just wanted to get checked in. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. You be safe with your driving there, and wish you safe travels, and we'll look for you next week. But yeah, we'll get that call sign log. We'll get that passed off for the wiki page entry. So thanks for being there this evening, and again, be careful with your driving. W6 GPS, that's Don. How are you doing there in Chattanooga, and what D-Star news do you have for us this evening?
Hey, this is W6 GPS. Good evening, everybody on the net. Been kind of away from the radio for a couple weeks, and got everything all sorted out with my sister passing away, and I appreciate everybody's kind comments, but we're getting back in the saddle now. Nothing new so far, just starting to think about another video here, so I'll be making probably an announcement next week on video I'll be working on. But just want to say hello to everybody here on the net, and just still enjoying D-Star. It's a lot of fun. W6 GPS in Chattanooga.
All right, Don, on behalf of the others, myself on the net that didn't realize you had the awesome level there, we want to send our condolences to you from the net. We're glad to have you in here and glad you're getting back in the saddle. So look forward to appreciate everything you do for us there, Don. W6 GPS. All right, that brings us down to the bottom of the list. Anyone else wishing to check into this edition of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net, please call now.
WA6UHA.
W
KM4WSJ, sorry.
KF5
Howdy, Dave. KC8YQL.
K9PTF.
Let me acknowledge those stations there. I think we took, looks like 5 stations there. WA6UHA, KM4WST, KF5ZBL, KC9YQL, and K9PFT. And we'll take those in order. WA6UHA, how are you getting along there this evening? And you're talking about chilly. We always tease you about San Francisco weather, but it's almost close the windows and get the coat out here in Indiana. What do you got going on there? W6UHA, go ahead.
Good evening, all. It's WA6UHA Dave in San Francisco. It's a little chilly, a little cool. Of course, we had the warm weather last week. Not so much along the coast, but further inland. But this past week, it's been cool just about everywhere. It was slightly below normal. The fog and marine layers come in pretty far. It's penetrated pretty far in from the coast. And as a matter of fact, our field day was kind of on the foggy side, but we were successful. Didn't operate any D-Star during field day. All analog on HF primarily. We did try to do 6 meters, not too much going on as far as propagation, except I guess 1 or 2 local contacts. And in regards to the Ham Nation tonight, we did watch it. There was a lot of fun there, and I was just wondering when Bob was going to get to the transmitter section to the Pine Board project there, and I guess they held off on that because they decided to redesign the entire RF section there, I guess, with the 6AG7 and 66 or whatever. But it was standard MOPA transmitter, I guess. They're using the oscillator, I think, is going to be a pentode as well as the final there, so completely redesigned. I guess originally, they were using a 12U7, basically a modulated oscillator, and that didn't really work out too well, so I guess they're holding off until they come up with a better, which they have come up with a better design, and I guess that's going to be introduced sometime next month. So I'm anticipating that we get to the RF. I really like that boosting of the high switch there on the Pine Board transmitter and the preamp.
excellent decision and adding that .001 capacitor there to boost the high end there. It really sounded good there. And I guess Bob had that set up so it ran the 12AX7 preamp right through the input of his system there, eliminating the mixer. It sounded good there, and you could really tell the difference with the various settings of the equalizer, whether it's the bass, the treble, or the bright boost there. It really sounded good. So I might just look into the possibility of purchasing the entire kit of parts, which I guess is going to be available soon there. So that should be exciting. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to use for a receiver. Other than that, not too much to add here. I'm on the 9100. I'm not using my hotspot today. I decided to use the IC9100 directly into the Mount Diablo Amateur Radio Club W6CX D-Star system, just for a change here on 2 meters. Other than that, that's it on this end. Everybody have a great weekend. Back to net, WA6U.
All right, Dave, 5 comments there, and yeah, I also went and looked up the parts. I forget what episode I went back to on Wiki to find it, but I looked up the store that Bob gets a lot of his stuff from. And man, you're talking about the place to get it. I'm sure when they get that kit bill, I'm sure it's probably where it's going to come out of. So, good comments there from you. We want to wish you a safe and happy 4th of July coming up, and safe in any travels that you've got coming along the way as well. So, we'll look for you next week, and thanks for being there this week. Let's run over to KM4 WST and find out what he's got going on this evening. Watch the show this evening. Any comments you have or anything you want to talk about? Go ahead. KM4 WST. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, good evening. It's a KM4 WSJ up here in Neptune Beach, and I am watching the show. And although I didn't get to play with Field Day this year, the honeydew list was just too long. And I did sit down and make a couple of contacts. I think I got 4 or 5 of them, but nothing compared to last year. Hopefully next year I'll have some more free time to enjoy myself. But otherwise, just a slow night, having a coffee, watching Ham Nation, and checking into some nets. Really enjoy the show, and like I said last week, the Pine Board projects really piqued my curiosity. I didn't get going on it when he started, but I'm gonna have to review these videos and give me some parts and try it. I'd really like to get into that kind of stuff. But yeah, well, thanks for checking me in, and hope you're having a great night.
All right, fine business there. We want to wish you a safe and happy 4th of July as well. I was able to spend a couple hours with my home club here. This is the W9OB Club, and I think if you go to our webpage, hamnationdstore.net, if you'll look at the net controllers page, I think there's a quick link in there for W9OB, our club station. But we have it at our County Historical Society, and was very impressed with the outfit that they had set up there for us. And enjoyed looking at some of the new artifacts they've got in the museum that I haven't seen prior, and really had a good time just for a couple hours talking to the guys. So, Field Day was a success over here. Didn't spend as much time as I probably should. We've got your call sign in the logbook. Look for you next week. Again, have a safe 4th of July. KM4 WSJ, and I do have that call sign corrected. Let's go to KF5ZBL over there in Dallas and see how he's getting along. KF5ZBL, go ahead.
Good evening, Jeanette. KF5ZBL Bill here in Dallas, Texas. Currently 84 degrees. So, sitting there watching the show, enjoying it as always, and always good to hear about the after Field Day stuff. I know I had a lot of fun at Field Day and wore myself out, but all good. Made plenty of contacts during the event, so really happy about that. So. Other than that, just give me one for the count tonight and say I was here. So I'll send that back. KF5, so deal.
All right, Bill. Thanks for the comments. And thanks for checking in, taking time to be with us. And got your call sign to book again this week. And look for you next week. You have a good, safe 4th of July. Let's run over to Ohio. KC8YQL. Check on Bill. How are you doing? And how'd your Field Day go? KC8YQL. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, so good evening to you and all on the net. Ohio Field Day went quite well. We had quite a few check-ins, although I wasn't able to attend. One of my best friends is selling his property and selling all of his belongings, and he's got a big coach diesel pusher motorhome, and he's hitting the road. I guess so. I was trying to help him out as much as I could. And I did kind of establish some contacts though over on a couple of digital networks with our analog folks on HF. Tried to cheer him on even though I wasn't there. And enjoying all the really nice pictures from the field day right now, currently being showed live as we speak on live.twit.tv. And just an FYI there, to you guys, we're tracking some weather. Unfortunately, some stuff's heading our way again. Our Skywarn Net guys was on the air a little bit ago talking about potential have to bring a net up here, and so everybody keep an eye on what's happening out to our west right now as it moves over in our direction. And one other quickie here for you there, David, and anybody who's interested, if you go to 145.8 megahertz, I heard the space station talking voice. So I believe they're going to start cranking up some more voice on the space station. So you might want to stick that frequency in your police scanner in your other room or even in your hand gear and take a peek over there on 145.8 for the space station as it rolls over. That's all we got, Dave. Thanks you guys for keeping this net alive, and we'll turn it back to you, sir, from KC8YQL. And I'm going to sneak on over to TAC 311, see if I can rattle the bushes with Andrew a little bit.
W6ETS.
All right, Bill, we appreciate your comments there, and be careful there with the weather coming your way. It looks like it must be all your way. It's already went past here, I think. But we got your call sign in the logbook, and good to have you in here and spending time with us this week. I had a quick key there from W6ETS, so I'll go to you right after I finish up with K9PTF. K9PTF. Any comments you have about the show, field day, or D-Star? Go ahead. K9PTF.
This is K9PTF Paul in Chelsea, Alabama. Thanks for taking my check-in. And I didn't get to do field day because I'm kind of like George. We're probably in the same age group. And we had 6 inches of rain in 5 days, so not a good thing here. Anyway, did one little crazy thing here. We had a ham in Cumberland, Indiana, who I helped get on Echolink. He's brand new, and that really opened up a big opportunity for him. Just thought I'd throw that out since you're an Indiana boy, and that's my old home state. That's not all I've got. The show was really good tonight, and it was nice to see that Alabama is going to have a station that gets to work, or a high school station gets to work the space station. I think that's really cool. Other than that, I think I'll just turn it back over to Net Control and let you move on.
All right, you be careful down there in Alabama, and thanks for your comments. I was listening to XM radio this morning, and Fox News did a live spot with, I didn't catch the astronaut's name, but she's the longest, she has the most spacewalks, maybe it is, of any astronaut. She's been up there for quite a while, and so it does sound like they are going to get a little more active up there. That's the first interview I've heard or seen that been done, on the news media in quite a long while. So looks like we are getting some space station activity. I was also able to push the D-Star as we had our field day. The guys that spent, I'll say more than 1 hour hooking up their equipment and everything. And I walked in there and had my hotspot going with my solar battery pack charger and all my good stuff. And I was ready to go in about 4 minutes. I think I made believers out of a few of them. But, take care of yourself, and we'll get with you next week. KB9VZU clear with K9PTF on the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net. Let's check on W6ETS. He was a quick key in there. Let's go to him and see if he has any comments about the show, field day, or anything he wants to talk about. W6ETS.
N6C.
Check into this edition of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show now. Please call now. KB9BC was standing by.
November 6th, Charlie Zulu Echo.
KE0AYJ.
All right, we'll take those two stations. I had N6CZE and KE0AYJN are there. So we'll go to K6CZE first. How are you doing this evening? Comments you have about the Ham Nation show, field day, or D-Star related topics. Go ahead, 14 Charlie's yours.
Well, a very good evening to you, sir, and everyone on the net. N6CZE here in Montclair. The handle's Gary, Golf Alpha Romeo Yankee, and we're currently watching the show. I kind of I thought that was pretty neat. They're going to start on the transmitter and showing some of the sneak previews of that. I thought that was pretty good. As far as field day goes, we just didn't have a good field day here. I got on several times, but the bands were so bad. I made very few contacts, and wasn't one of my better ones, but I'm sure a lot of people did. I did hear some people say that they got on D-Star. I don't think that counts, but they were able to make quite a few DX contacts on D-Star, and that's pretty, says a lot about D-Star, doesn't it? So anyway, that's what we've got here. It's still hot. You think summer's here, and we're going to have that for a while. So with that, I'll send it back to you. Thank you for doing the net, my friend. Have a very terrific evening. N6CZE.
All right, sir. We appreciate your comments about field day and everything else there that you've added with our net this evening. And yeah, you're right. The bands were awfully bad. That's whenever I had the most attention on the short time I was there. They just weren't able to make contacts on 20 or 40, so they came over there where I was at. They just were blown away because I had an external speaker hooked on this little 5100 anniversary. And it's like turn on your XM radio with the audio. So. I don't know what they'd do if I brought out one of those Kins like Don's got. But thanks for being there, and thanks for talking with us this evening. We've got you in the log book. Let's run over and check with us at KE0AYJ. How are you doing this evening? Any comments you have about field day or the Ham Nation show? Anything you want to talk about here on 14 Charlie? Go ahead.
Okay, good evening to the net, and see you're back up north of me a little bit. I'm down here just off Martinsville, or Mooresville. But, yeah, we're having a ball. I just got back from the islands. I've been over in Kauai for the past 30 days, taking care of some stuff over there, picking up the Hawaiian shirts for the guys on the show there and stuff, getting that all squared away. So I got back yesterday, and a little bit of change of temperature. As humidity here is just a little bit muggier, not moving too much, but I think we got some weather coming in here Saturday and Sunday, maybe even Friday and Saturday. But it's good to be back stateside and get back, kick back, relax, and everything. We'll let you get back to the net and say 73 to everybody. Have a good evening. KE0AYJ.
Yes, sir, Andy. We appreciate that. And we enjoyed those Hawaiian shirts you were displaying over at the town hall meeting. That was pretty cool. And appreciate everything you're doing for the hobby and coming in here with us on the net. Thanks for taking time for us. And be safe in your travels. I'm going to head down to Dale Hollow, I think, here a couple of days. Be gone for about 6 or 7. I'm going to take my D-Star with me. I might try to do an aeronautical contact. If I do, I'll be here on 14 Charlie. But we've got a plane in the family. We've got a newly christened commercial pilot instructor under their family. So I'll probably be up in the air there for a little bit. So listen for you here on 14 Charlie next week. Thanks for being there. And that brings us down to the bottom of the list. Anyone else wishing to check into this edition of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show now, please call me. All right, nothing heard on that click. Jeff, you want to try to rattle leaves and maybe make some announcements, see if we can give some time to finish up the show there? I'll pass it over to you. JTK from KB9BZU.
All right, Dave, very good. Yeah, we can make some announcements here, and hopefully we'll get some check-ins. The video segment is going on right now with Dale, so everybody's probably glued to their screen as they're showing somebody doing field day from an airplane. So looks interesting. We'll have to go back and check that out on the replay. But anyway, this is the Ham Nation B-Star After Show Net right here on Reflector 14 Charlie. There are some other after show nets going on. If you have 40 meter capability, Kevin, KC7FPF, is taking check-ins on 7192. Again, that's 7192. Haven't seen Steve for the 20 meter net or frequency yet, but he's usually around 14,268. That's 14268. And if you're traveling, don't have internet capability, and you have a shortwave radio, WTWW also simulcast. Ham Nation has a records live, and they're on 5085. It's 5085 shortwave. And of course, the digital nets here, we're on D-Star 14 Charlie, but we also have DMR on TAC 311, otherwise known as Talk Group 311, and Echolink. That is on the Star 2 drop-in Star, node number 355800. And if you have the capability, please check in with any and all of those nets and show your support for their work as well, doing the same thing we're doing here. So with that, Dave, don't remember if you wanted me to take check-ins or not, but we can certainly do so. What's your pleasure?
Yes, sir. If you want to grab some check-ins there, maybe you can rattle the leaves, see if you can get some stations to come back to us there. I understand why they'd be watching the segment you're describing there. I don't have it pulled up right now. I'm probably going to download it tomorrow. But I'll run the log for you and see what you get.
Absolutely. And see, they just went to the chat room segment. But nonetheless, if you want to know how to watch live, the show's still going on right now, or get in the chat room and participate there, or listen live here on 14 Charlie, even if you don't have a D-Star radio, you can check out our website, hamnationdStar.net. Got everything linked up there for the show, including the check-in list and the other shows that go on Twitch, if you're interested in technology kind of things. HamNationDStar.net has all that linked up. All right, as Dave mentioned, we're taking check-ins here. Anyone wishing to get checked in, please call KHATK now.
N0BF.
All right, Steve, we'll take you. N0BF. Good evening to you. Do you have anything to share with us about your field day experiences or any information you'd like to share with the net? Go ahead and take it. N0BF from KHATK.
Yeah, K8JTK N0BF. Well, thanks for letting me check in there. Yes, this is Steve in Loveland, Colorado, and thanks for running the net tonight. Well, I only operate a couple hours out of the house here, 1 Delta, Colorado, but I did work 30 states and 40 meters. 40 meters is open from coast to coast. It's just a beautiful Saturday evening on that band, and a lot of 1 Deltas too, and a lot of 2 and 3 Deltas. I was real surprised to hear those. Anyway, so a lot of people operating out of their homes these days. I'd say about 20% of them are doing that. Anyway, I had a good time, a lot of CW, and enjoyed that. So, but I wasn't very serious about it. Like I said, a couple hours, and it was a lot of fun. But the upper bands were kind of dead here in Loveland, Colorado. So anyway, and listened to the show tonight on the Tennessee station. It was kind of fun doing that, like I do. I pretty much have a habit now of doing that. So back to you there, Jeff. This is N0BF. Thanks for checking me in.
Hey, very good, Steve. Well, at least you got out and operated a little bit for field day. And, you know, I don't know if it's just people are, you know, too busy and got things to do or whatever, don't want to spend a lot of time at a actual field-based site. But interesting observation there you had about the 1 deltas. I know I worked you know, being a 1 delta, I couldn't work another 1 delta for any points, but I typically don't turn in points anyway. But, you know, tried to work at least a couple stations in the free time, had a bunch of ball games going on and all that kind of stuff, so we were kind of preoccupied and committed to those kind of things. But got out and worked a couple stations and also received a couple NTS messages via the National Traffic System as one of the section leaders for the Ohio section here. And I really appreciated that. Always like to receive those kind of messages there. But Steve, thanks for checking in and joining us on the net tonight, as you usually do. Appreciate you spending some time with us. Anyone else like to check into the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net? Show's still going on, but if you want to check in, you can get in now before everyone else gets in. Please come out. Alright, now station's heard. The show is wrapping up. Anyone wishing to check into the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net, please call KHATK now. Maybe a short net tonight yet. Well, this is true, but I'm kind of stalling because I don't think they officially wrapped the show yet. They're kind of talking about field day and stuff like that, and so I'm just kind of dragging the feet a little bit here, as they say.
Well, fill me in what you did for field day, because they picked a pretty good spot over here for us. I tell you what, I was really impressed with what they did. It was, there was a Union General here that there's the auditorium at the high school named after General Bundy. And it's his house that they were at, built back in the 1860s, and it's a beautiful house with woodworking and stuff. They've got a garage. There used to be a car factory here in Newcastle called the Maxwell Car, and they've got one in there that's just pristine. It's a showroom piece. That's right where they had the build station set up by the garage door there for the Maxwell Car. So where'd you end up?
Well, right about where I'm sitting. Just always have the intention of getting out to field-based sites, but it's, I think even last year I kind of did the same thing. Worked as a 1 delta just to give out a couple points here or there. You know, other delta stations couldn't work other deltas, so you know, you had to work any of the other designations to get any points. But like I typically don't turn in points. I just do it to make a couple contacts and play with the radio a little bit. And since the bands are usually busy and very congested, it's usually a good time for me to play around a little bit with the filtering and the noise reduction, all that kind of good stuff to refamiliarize myself, because usually I work digital and you don't have to worry about that stuff all that much. But when you're doing sideband and you're trying to knock out the adjacent signal or one that's on top or whatever the case, that the filtering and the noise reduction always helps. But yeah, one of the my club is actually out on the east side of Cleveland, working from one of the state parks, and I heard that they did quite well. So that's awesome. But we actually had a couple, believe it or not, 2 ball games to go to. My sister had tickets for the Indians game on Saturday, and since I had her, didn't feel like dragging her out the field day. She's not at all interested in the ham radio stuff, and I just said, nah, if I get motivated later in the night, then I'll go out, but didn't end up. And then the next day we had the, I'm not even sure if it's a minor league, but it might be one of the minor league affiliations that we have one here about 20 minutes away called the Crushers. So saw 2 ball games. Unfortunately, both teams lost, so it was quite the busy weekend. Anyway, so we got a little bit of time in operating anyway. Back over to you, KJ.
I'm proud to hear you went to an Indians game. No, that's where I probably should have been. That was the weekend before. I was supposed to go to Cincinnati for Pete Rhodes' statue unveiling. I didn't get a thing done. That was Father's Day week also. But yeah, I agree. I like it whenever the guys get together and a lot of us don't get to see each other very often. Sometimes it's just field day to field day to see each other. So that's what we had going on this week over here. Let's try to grab a few more check-ins, and still got a log running for you there. So we'll see if we got anybody up.
Yeah, I'm just looking them up. Apparently they are professional baseball, but a member of the Independent Frontier League, which is not affiliated with Major League Baseball. So I guess they are actually a professional baseball team, just one of the other independent leagues. So, like I said, unfortunately, both of them lost, but the weather was beautiful, and we got terrace seats for the Crushers game, so we had food and all that kind of stuff. So it was quite good. All right. After that little bit of rambling, I'll throw out there that the other after show that's going on, we have 7192, 7192 for the 40-meter net. Haven't seen Steve for the 20-meter net, so he may not be there, but he's usually on 14.268. And I have that up now and have not heard a whole heck of a lot on there. But if he's there, feel free to jump in with any of these guys and get checked in with them. And of course, the digital nets here on 14 Charlie for D-Star. DMR is on TAC 311, otherwise known as Talker 311. And Echolink, Star Dewdrop and Star, node number 355800. Alright, the show's wrapped up. Do we have any additional check-ins for the Ham Nation D-Star after show net? Please call now.
N7HR.
Well, everyone must be tired and sick of being on the radio. But nonetheless, we got you in there, Dennis. N7HRO. Go ahead and take it. Share with us any field day stories or any operating highlights from field day. and anything else you have to share with the net. N7HRO from KJTK.
Yeah, okay. Good evening from South Dakota, N7HRO. And we had a storm roll through here a little bit earlier. Everything HF is disconnected. And I went out Saturday. We weren't too organized. Several of the people were out of town. We showed up, a couple of us. One of the guys brought a trailer with the tower. And wouldn't you know it, the one beam that they tried to put up wasn't working. I'm going to bring this up at the club meeting, you know, that we take some of this equipment out and set it up, check SWR, adjust it, mark it, etc. to, you know, so next time we go to use it, it'll work. I tried using a buddy pole. I had never taken it out of the package, so didn't have a lot of luck with it. But anyway, it was extremely warm out here. You know, sitting out in the middle of the field didn't make for too good operating. I'm sure everybody else did good. We just packed it in, and I came home and sat inside the cabin. Anyhow, I think I'll go over on 40, hook the antenna back up, and see if I can't get the guys now that the storm's back are gone by. Everybody have a great evening from N7HRO, Hot Springs, South Dakota.
All right, then, it's very good. Yeah, it's pretty much what you want to make of it. You know, you don't have to operate for the entire 24 hours and all that. One of the clubs that I got involved with when I was in college out near Toledo, Ohio, they you know, unless somebody really wants to camp out and operate all 24 hours, they pretty much will you know, get set up starting around noon, start operating at 2. And, you know, just kind of operate till about dinner time and roll out some good potlucks, you know, selection and all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, about 7, 8, 9 or so, you know, when everybody's kind of tired and wants to go home, you know, they kind of pack it up, you know, unless somebody really wants to stay there. So, you know, it's whatever you want to do. You don't have to operate the full 24 hours. And as N0BF Steve said that he heard a lot of Delta stations down there, so apparently a lot of people are operating from home. But hey, Dennis, thanks for taking a couple moments to get checked in with us, share your field day experiences. And, hopefully everything worked out well for you. Appreciate you checking in. All right, anyone else for the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net, please call J8JTK now.
K0OJ.
All right, we picked up OJ. How you doing, OJ? And did you do anything good for field day you want to share with the net? And, go ahead with any comments about the show or anything else.
Well, my golly. I can remember 3 contacts, all from my home. I did go out, a friend and I went out to see the field day site up in Nunn, Colorado, and sat around for a good while and just talked and had a good time, and Bill wanted to go home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we packed him back up in the car and then came back home. I worked Vermont on 15, barefoot. Went to 40, didn't find anybody on 20 that I wanted, you know, whatever. Worked Rhode Island barefoot on 40, that's a pretty good one. And then Sunday morning, after it got done on 3875 on our AM bunch, went down thinking, I wonder if Hawaii will be there again, 3799. There was KH6RS, so I turned on old Roger, the Centurion, and gave them Colorado through the midst of all the Califruity guys they was working. And that's all I did for field day. So anyhow, there you go. And just remember, just like there are two PETAs, there are two QRPs. One is the 5-watt thing. That's the bad QRP. And the good QRP is quite respectable power. K0OJ.
All right. Yeah, one of my buddies was working between QRP and QQRP or whatever the designation is, where he was just a couple milliwatts. So he was, I think he has a KX3 he was using. And he just said, hey, it's 5 o'clock or so. Let me just go out in the shed. I'll throw up, I think he had a buddy pole antenna with his KX3 and some solar panels. And he was off running and had a battery till about, operating till about midnight here Eastern time. So, yeah, like I said, it's whatever you want to make of it. And kind of jealous about that Hawaii thing, because I am trying to get Hawaii on JT65, and so far it's been over a year, probably a year and a half now. And they're the last ones that I'm waiting on, but we'll get them eventually. But hey, OJ, thanks for checking in and sharing with us your field day experiences. Anyone else from the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net? All right, we got Chip in there, K9MIT. So after Chip, we'll go on the last call. So if anybody wants to get in there, get your radios and everything set up now. Because right now we're going to throw it over to Chip, K9MIT, and see what he did for field day or any experiences he wants to share with that. And any comments about the show. Go ahead and take it, Chip, K9MIT from KJ Japan.
Hey, Jeff, KJTK, K9MIT, very good. Well, I stayed around the house. I kept an eye on the wife here, as I do all the time, and worked some CW on my Chameleon F-loop antenna, but otherwise just enjoyed the experience, and also good show tonight. So I'll turn it back to you, Jeff. And hello to Dave and all the rest of the net members on the group there. KJTK, Net Control, this is K9MIT.
All right, Chip, thanks for taking a couple minutes to check in with us and share with us your field day experiences. And yeah, as Steve from Colorado mentioned, there are a lot of Delta stations out there. And seem to be a lot of people operating from home. But like I said, it is what you make of it. And whatever you want to do is perfectly fine. So thanks for checking in with us, Chip. And with that, we're kind of slowing down here, although it's been a rather slow net. And, people are probably just decompressing a little bit from field day. But we'll throw it in the last call. Last call for late check-ins, additional check-ins, or anyone that has anything for the good of the net. This is Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net. Please call now.
N4NR.
All right, got an N4NR, Dennis. Another Dennis on the net. Good evening to you. Looks like a new call to the net here, at least to my eyes anyway. So let us know what you did for Field Day and anything else you want to comment about the Ham Nation show that recorded tonight.
All right, good evening. This is Dennis, N4NR, located about 10 miles south of Birmingham, Alabama, in Shelby County. And I'm just sitting here reading mail and listening. This is my second time to check into this net. I discovered it a week ago and checked in then, but I'm fairly new to D-Star. I'm predominantly an HF guy and a DXer, but I'm spending more and more time in a motorhome now, so I carry a D-Star radio with me in the motorhome and use a DVAP. Field Day this year, I was here in Alabama, operating with a small group of friends. We operated with a call W4 Delta Romeo November. We are a little small contest group that only had 4 people out there, but we made a pretty heavy effort at it. We operated 2 Alpha, and we finished up with 1,725 contacts. We found the bands to be very good here in Alabama, but we just about got washed away because of the floods. We actually had to shut down for several hours because of rain. This is N4NR, over.
All right, Dennis, very good. Yeah, that is quite impressive because I'm taking a look at the report that my club sent out to me, and we were 3 Alpha, and it looks like we were about 400 contacts or so. It looks like, yeah, 279 for phone and about another 15 for digital, it looks like. So I guess we didn't have any CW operators. Anyway, that's quite impressive for a 2 Alpha there. You guys did quite well in comparison. But hey, it's all about the fun and camaraderie. And you turn in points, that's great. You might see your group there in future issues of QSC usually later in the year. Hey, Dennis, thanks again for joining the net. Appreciate you taking time to do so. And with a mobile home, since you have a DVAP, you're good to go. Because I was going to suggest a hotspot because in an area you don't have D-Star coverage, or if you're doing any other digital modes, it'll work well for you. But the DVAP will work great for him. Thanks for checking in with us again this week, Dennis. Do we have anyone else? Last call for late check-ins, additional check-ins, or anyone that has anything for the good of the net. This is the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net on 14 Charlie.
Yeah, Roger, this is Dennis again. I'm using the DVAP, but the model with the hotspot. So I'm talking to it on 40 centimeters with an ID51. So it's worked out really well for being on the road. Good night, N4NR.
WD5USA.
Yeah, very good, Dennis. Yeah, any hotspot will work for you. I was going to suggest the open spot if you wanted to do multiple ones, but the DVAP will serve you well. That's what I'm using currently. The open spots on DMR right now. Again, thanks for checking in. I got WD5USA. Go ahead and take it there, Mike.
Well, thank you very much. I got to watch most of the show tonight. A great show as always, and they're getting deep and heavy into this building. I think that's great. I don't know if y'all discussed it or not. I had a phone call and missed most of the net here, but I always thought they were talking about QRP. I always understood 5 watts or less, but I have heard people say, 10 watts, and one ham here in town says anything under $14.99 is QRP. He says life's too short for QRP. So he liked to play. He had some good alpha amps for contesting, and he knew how to work them.
Let's see, what's going on here? Field day, the club did not do anything for field day. A couple of hams got together out at the lake, and it was just, had too much to do this weekend, so I didn't get to go. That's all I've got tonight. Thanks for doing what you do, WD5 USA.
Yeah, I must have missed that part of the show, or was doing the net, because I've always taken QRP to mean 5 watts or less, and then I think it's QQRP, Quebec, that means less than 1 watt, down into the milliwatt range. So, well, that was my understanding anyway, but maybe they had something different. And maybe the league has something in their handbook, but yeah, I always took it to mean less than 5, and then QQ to mean less than 1. But we'll have to go back and check that out and see what was going on. But yeah, I've been kind of a slow net here, and we'll taking check-ins till nobody else wants to check in. But Mike, good to hear you there from Oklahoma, and hopefully you had a good field day there as well. Last call for late check-ins, additional check-ins, or anyone that has anything for the good of the net. This is the Ham Nation Easter After Show Net on 14 Charlie.
K4BJL.
Here, we'll probably wrap it up there with K4DJL. I got that call signed in there, another Alabama station. Go ahead and take it. Share it with us, your field day experiences, or any comments about the show this evening.
Well, I did not make the show. Just got home, having to cut the radio on, and heard you guys on. But for field day, it was very interesting. We had spent several days under the rest of Cindy. So we were out in a hayfield that had been cut, and it was muddy and all the kind of worst conditions. It was hot and humid, but got the antenna up Friday, and it fell, and we had to put them back up Saturday morning. I guess that's what we did. Yeah, something like that. And we had gust of wind come through, but we operated as W4AP, so any of you that were on phone or CW, they recognized the call. I was on phone from, I guess 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Had a lot of fun. Talked all over the U.S. and Canada and enjoyed it. And glad to be checking into the net, and appreciate you being there. K4DJL, Ellen Montgomery.
Well, there you go. About 6 hours of operating here on voice. Very good. But you had a good experience there. And yeah, sometimes those gusts of wind will knock them over. And I know some of the other field day things that Gordo and people have shared on the show. And there have been rainstorms going through, like sheets of rain, and they cover the stuff up and hide under the table and operate there. So there's all kinds. But thanks for taking a couple of moments to check in with us on the net here this evening. You're always welcome to come back here on 14 Charlie and check in with us every Wednesday evening. Now, with that, I think we're going to wrap it up. I'll mention the other after show nets. Most of them have concluded, but I think I do hear the 40 meter net going on, 7192, 71902. And you can get in with Kevin, KC7FPF. Didn't hear Steve on 20 tonight, so he might be out doing something or having something to deal with work. TAC 311, Talk Group 311 is where the DMR net is usually held, and Echolink is star, do drop in star, node number 355800. And of course, while Ham Nation records live, there's simulcast on 5085 shortwave, that's WTWW. 5085. And with that, we have a website of our own, hamnationdStar.net, where we have all that information linked up there for you. And, in addition, how to get in the chat room, how to watch live, or check out any of the check out any of the host pages too, because we have Gordo stuff linked up there. George Thomas to be 5JDX, Amateur Logic, as well as Dr. Scove's webpage up there, all up there, hamnationdStar.net. Dave, I'll throw it over to you to put the final ribbons on it. And we'll say 7-3 to the net. This is KHATK, turning it over to KB9BZU.
N0WIQ.
That quick key up there, N0WIQ, and then we'll close out the net. N0WIQ, go ahead.
Well, good evening, this is N0WIQ, and I missed most of the program, so I'm not sure what all it was talking about. I have a fairly deep knowledge of technology anyway, so you have a good evening. This is N0WIQ.
All right, sir. I appreciate you taking time to check in with us here. Your last check-in this evening. It's got a total of 20 stations counting Jeff and I. And hope you had a good time at Field Day and wish you a safe and happy 4th of July. And thanks for coming in there with us this evening. But if there being no further business for the net, we'll go ahead and close this session of the Ham Nation D-Star After Show Net. Please join us again next Wednesday evening on or about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this same reflector, 14 Charlie. On behalf of K8JTK and myself, KB9BZU, we want to wish everyone a safe and happy 4th of July. We'll look for you next week, and we'll go ahead and return 14 Charlie back to regular amateur use. Thanks, everyone, and everyone have a good evening. KB9BZU, QRT.